Oh, all right.
Ooh.
Now, since I just got here, I'm going to go back to my emails and find the agenda.
Well, I'm the one that's supposed to start, so why don't I start? I thought maybe tonight, especially because it's our last meeting for the year, kind of before we take our summer break, that we could go around the circle and maybe name one thing that is coming up for us this summer, or something that's going to bring us something that brings us joy, maybe brings us some hope, just that light at the end of the tunnel kind of feeling that sometimes we need. I just thought maybe we'd go around and see what people are hoping to get from our summer time, and then after that I'll bring us together to pray.
Where we
So
start?
Anybody can start.
Anybody can start.
Okay, well, I'm looking forward spending a week at Lake Huron on the end of the summer. It is on the end of the summer with the boys and everyone, but it is one of my favorite places to go. So for sure, I'm super excited.
We've got a cottage booked in McTier on a lake June 9th for a week, and the whole family is going, all 10 of us.
July
Oh,
9th.
nice.
July 9th?
July 9th, yeah.
Nice.
So we're really looking forward to that.
All 10 of you, that's great.
Yeah, it's a big enough place that everybody has a bed and there's enough rooms for everybody. And
Oh, that's great. You'll have to tell me where it is, Harold, because those kind of places are hard to find.
yeah, it's not cheap, but
Yeah.
it gets everybody together once every couple of years. So
Nice.
Carolyn just put in the chat that she's rented a cottage at Grand Bend for a week with some of her family.
Oh, that's
Oh, nice.
very nice.
I'm looking to work myself out of a job.
That's a plan. That's a good plan.
I am looking forward to never saying COVID center. Ken speaking.
That's
Well, Elliot has his high school graduation, which is us stopping our car. He gets out, he goes to the door. We kind of text to say he's coming. They come out, give him his graduation diploma. We take a picture and we go back home. But that's even too much for him. This is all for us.
yes.
But anyhow, looking forward to. I don't know what I'm looking forward to.
What's he going to do next year?
He's going to Thunder Bay.
Oh, wow. To the Lakehead.
He's going to Confederation College it's attached to Lakehead, but that's where he's off to.
Oh, good for him.
Yeah. Anyhow, okay, not for me.
We haven't made any plans for the summer yet. We're hoping to be vaccinated. Lauren's done. I have one more to go. But
And
this weekend we're heading to the Ottawa area to visit the grandchildren.
Nice.
and Michelle, when
Yeah.
when are you due for number 2?
July 2nd.
Oh, wow.
So Monday is better?
It's a Friday.
No, but this Monday's better?
No,
Oh, okay.
no, I'm okay with that. Thank you anyway. But
All right.
no, I'm trying to work it around because most people I know have been pretty sick afterwards. So we decided that we'd make the trip to Ottawa beforehand.
Yeah.
But yeah, Lauren had a rough time after he had his last week.
Oh.
So yeah, so
Made it through both of mine with just a sore shoulder, a sore arm.
yeah, I had nothing.
Can you go right now?
I had nothing from the first one, but neither one of us did. So I might be lucky. Who knows? So
Yeah.
so I planned it around things that I couldn't miss, if you know what I mean. So
Okay.
that's how it goes.
Yeah.
Hi, Shirley Ann.
Hi.
Hi, baby.
Hi,
Hi, Anthony. Hi.
Hi.
Say hi.
Doesn't know. Oh, there's a smile.
Shirley, and we're just talking about things that bring us joy or hope, something that we're doing over the summertime, because this is our last council meeting until September.
Well, that's a loaded question.
Sleep.
It's going, yep.
Joy. How about Shirley Ann have a sabbatical for 6 months with nobody around except the baby? Well, we rented a cottage where my brother's cottage is. So we're going there at the end of July.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, all of us. So it's a break, but not a break.
Yeah,
So
Of course. That's parenting.
yeah.
it'll be different. Yeah.
But at least we'll be with my brother so he can take my dad for a bit. So give me a
Yeah.
break.
If there's more people around, it's easier.
Yes, yes.
Good.
Yes.
Hi, sweet.
I'm also looking forward to being outdoors, camping the long weekend of August, the week before that. And to Kilbear, which you've never been to Kilbear, we've heard it's a really great park, so we're going to go there. And other than that, just like outdoor visits and just laying in my hammock and just getting as much outdoor time and sun time as I can. So that's my summer.
Yeah.
Nice. That's a good
I
plan.
just got to
Right
text
now,
from
it's a
Dan.
right now it's a cool summer, man. I don't know what's happening, but it better warm up.
Just today. Just today.
Yeah.
Oh no, we've had a few days like that, but
Darren said they lost the Wi-Fi, so he's trying to get back on.
Oh dear.
All right, let's pray. Creator God, it's not been an easy month. Not been an easy month in the news with discovery of burial grounds, with an incident of Islamophobia, with further concerns around COVID variants. But we give thanks that there is always hope ahead. We give thanks for cottages and campgrounds and the ability to be outdoors in God's creation. We give thanks for being able to gather again with family, especially those that we haven't seen in a long time. We ask you today to be with us for our last council meeting of the season and to continue to be with us as we work towards our mission and our vision in our own building and in our community. All this we pray. Amen.
Okay, thank you. So as this is being taped, Candy's going to watch this and enjoy the show and take all the notes, so she'll get the attendance. So I sent out an agenda, and I've added a bit about the severance. I've added a little bit about the insurance for the church. I've added a little bit about the lease for the manse. I'm going to add a little bit about a rental question / not rental question from Laura. And I know that the Y is doing vaccine, so I'm not sure where that comes in as far as.
I've got a bit of an update on that.
Okay, so does anyone have anything else to add to that?
Well, I think I sent out a thing about the Halton Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion Charter way back.
Exclusion or inclusion?
Inclusion.
Thank you.
Now this all went to Candy, so
Right.
as well as my draft letter, which she might not have sent out to an individual on Sabella.
Yes. Did everyone get that?
No, so she may not have gotten it out.
Yeah.
I don't recall
Yeah.
seeing it.
You know what? When we get to that, Harold, on the new business, I'll let you just read that because
Okay.
I think you did a really good. You did a
I
good
think,
job on it.
Harold, if you need to share it too, I think you have the ability to do that if you've done it before. I don't know.
I haven't done that before, so
Okay.
I
Well, if
will-
we need to, we can figure that out later.
I should be able to figure this out right now. Okay, so do we have approval for the agenda?
Oh, sure.
All right, and seconded?
Yep.
Okay. All in favor?
Yep.
Excellent. Okay, and everyone got the minutes of the last meeting?
No.
Maybe not
There.
Harold? Pardon?
I think she sent them out right after the meeting. I think Candy.
It would have been the minutes from the April meeting, right? 'Cause that would
Yeah,
have been the
April
council meeting.
21st.
No, May 19th.
May
Were there
19th
minutes
would
for
have
the
not.
chairs meeting?
That was a chairs
That was a
meeting, would have been
chairs meeting.
April.
Right.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
Then I probably got the April one, yeah.
Yeah.
And read through it.
Okay, so since no one remembers a problem, can I get an
I'll move.
approval of those?
I'll move.
I'll second it.
All right, you got that, Candy?
And if she asks us afterwards, we won't be able to remember.
Yeah.
All right, correspondence, Candy, what do you say, Candy? Any correspondence? No, not right now? Okay, moving on. We'll come back to the financial report. So team reports, maybe Michelle, we can start with you with any updates on the rental.
Yeah, I found out the same as everyone else today that the Y has got a clinic going on. And so they do plan to use the gym for their summer day program. That's all I know at this point. We'd already gone over the details of the contract about a month-ish ago. It was around the middle of May. We are just telling anyone else that inquires that the gym is booked for the summer, and we'll take that section of it. I don't know what the plans are at the Y, and neither does the Y, as to whether they will continue that clinic into the fall, because originally they thought they wanted to go right through to the end of the year, but who knows? As I said, the Y doesn't even know. It's all even a surprise to them. So we'll just take it one piece at a time. So for the July and August, beginning July 5th, that they'll be using the Watt Hall and the washrooms, and they take care of all of the COVID protocol. We don't have to do a thing, so that's easy. The other thing I wanted to mention was we did reach out to Activate Space regarding rentals of your properties. The lady got back to me, and obviously they're not doing anything during the pandemic, but we'll keep in touch, and when things get a little sorted out, it might be something we can look into as far as trying to capitalize on our space and make a little more money.
What does the Y do about garbage?
I don't know if we have that. It's in our normal agreement, but I'll talk to them about that.
'Cause we don't have Roy back, right?
Do they have? I don't know if the Y has.
They've got big bins at the back
Do they? I would assume
for
that,
their stuff.
yeah,
So
they
that's
obviously contract somebody to come and pick it up. So I will mention that to them, that we don't have anybody to take care of that. So
And if it becomes an issue, you can let me know. I'll see what I can do about it.
okay, but I'm sure they can walk it over to where their bins are. I can't imagine that would be a big problem. Thanks for mentioning that, because I wouldn't have thought of it.
It's just that I moved the two bins inside the building in order to reduce the invitation for doggy poo-poo.
Yeah.
And they didn't leave it anywhere, so obviously everybody's getting used to taking it home again. So
Well, that's good. Yeah, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Yeah. I said I reached out to the person I'd been dealing with this morning when I heard from Jeannie, and she hasn't got back to me yet. I haven't seen any emails. So I'm sure they're flapping around trying to get their act together. So I said to Jeannie, I'm sure we can trust them. We haven't got it signed, but it's all been agreed to. So just let them go, let them run with it. And she said the only people she's heard from are the Air Cadets, and they're not talking about coming back until October-ish. So we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
Sounds good.
So that's it for me.
Okay, any questions for Michelle? No? Okay, where should we go? Let's go. Was there anything from worship?
Not really. We just were discussing the past events. And we're gonna meet in August, on the end of August, just to see and try to set up for the September or whenever we could start reopening in person. So we have a meeting scheduled then, and then we'll go from there. That was the main thing, really,
Mhm.
that is on there. Otherwise, we were discussing the past events, and that's all.
Okay. And
We're
Shirley Ann,
hoping-
anything? Oh,
Sorry,
sorry.
one more. We're hoping to be streaming from the sanctuary this Sunday and hopefully be in there all summer so we can be ready in September when people start coming back in. Bert said the Wi-Fi was pretty bad today though, so he's looking into it to see what's going on, but the
Mhm.
plan is to be in there on Sunday. So if I'm not in there, you'll know why.
I hope so, because I'd have to say the other times you've broadcast from there, it's been as clear as a bell. I
Yeah.
thought, from where I was.
Yeah, no, it has been pretty good. So they're just, he's just looking into it.
So
Mhm.
when just a question here. So the last few weeks, there's been some glitches, right? It jumps and bounces around the songs and things like that. Does that go away if that's recorded and then you're sending it off your computer at the time, or what's?
So after worship, so it'll stay on Facebook that way forever. What I do is I download it from I upload it to my computer from I download it to my computer from Facebook, and then I edit it and I put in, like, if there was a jumpy song, then I'll put in the original video and take out the jumpy song and put in the original video, so that when it goes on YouTube, it's usually a very smooth.
Because you have the recording.
Because I've edited it and made it all nice and everything. The Facebook one stays the same.
But
Mhm.
was that glitchiness happening because you were broadcasting from your house?
No.
Whereas if you were broadcasting from the church, that might not happen, or do we know?
Well, it all depends on the Wi-Fi. So Carolyn said her Wi-Fi was having issues that week. So if we're broadcasting from the church and there are issues with the Wi-Fi at the church, then it'll happen at the church too. So it all depends on what's happening.
All right, okay.
But you have the clear recording, so you can fix that way. Sorry.
Okay, now Carolyn sent something, and I do believe I sent that to everybody.
Yeah.
No? Oh my gosh, hang on.
I got it.
hang on.
That's the one piece I did get.
Yeah, sorry about that. Council
who
meeting
sent it?
company- Oh, it was
I got
just
the-
Carolyn's. Give me
I
a
got the one
second.
about Laura Harper, but I didn't get anything about Carolyn.
No, Carolyn sent, so now I gotta look for all of
Oh, here comes Darren.
Candy sent,
Did you send it to everybody or just to you?
probably just to me.
Oh.
And you think I would have sent Carolyn McNaught, here we go.
That the one with more and more people are vaccinated?
Again, I'm just looking here. Katie Allen, hi, Callan, can you circulate this letter for review? I don't know. You want to read it for us?
Well,
Earl, did you
if it's
see
the
it?
one, if it's the one you sent to me from Carolyn, it says
It
more and
is.
more and more people are vaccinated with their second dose or have it planned. Everyone is glad for better weather while they are patient and mostly cheerful. There is a growing confidence that we are closer to being together again. The phone tree is truly appreciated by everyone, and it has inspired more calls and more connecting between people. So that was the nurturing care. And then the UCW, we received $42 for 2 knitted sweaters. So we put that donation along with 2 other UCW offerings into the UCW bank account. That's it.
All right. Shirley Ann? Nothing to add, okay. All right, Darren,
Oh, did you circulate the sanctuary renovation one? You probably didn't get it from Candy. Okay, here we go. Sanctuary renovation, severance application was supposed to go in yesterday, so I'm assuming it did. The fees for filing are $88,739 for the town of Oakville and $1,162.15 for Halton Region. So Alan Ramsey is going to pay those because they have to go in electronically along with the submission. So he's going to pay those, then invoice us for the funds. So the severance application we'd set it up, it went in yesterday.
And any guess, like, is this a little faster process than the,
Oh, it should be a lot faster than that.
like, is this like in a week or in a
No, this should, I suspect this will be about a 2-month process.
2 months? Okay. All right, that's good to know.
But I've been wrong before, almost every
Yeah.
time, so.
Yeah.
You don't admit that in public, Harold.
Well, I know Michelle's sitting there chuckling. Yeah, right. She's doing the same thing.
Yeah.
We think 2 months, it's probably more.
Yeah. You get to the point where nothing surprises you.
Yeah.
It takes what it takes, right?
Yeah, that's it. Okay, that was my sanctuary report.
All right. Sorry, I'm just bouncing back here with my, so let me just jump in here as far as we're talking about that. I'll just jump in with some trustee stuff. The lease will be due to be re-signed this month. And we had a meeting. The trustees had a meeting, and we're just going to continue on as always. There's a clause in there for the 2-month warning that the contract, the lease can be terminated. I've had very, very good conversations with our rentor tenant that they understand that, but it's also been pretty much agreed with the rest of us that we understand that there is a pandemic going on, that family has been there since 2005. It's the only house these kids have ever known. And, we're not going to be ruthless in this, that, come February, she's going to be sleeping in her car outside. So, I just wanted to keep you updated that we're going to renew the lease just as always. It'll be the exact same wording as every other lease she's ever had. It will go for a year, but with that 2-month clause. And again, good conversations with her. She knows that this is coming, and again, we'll do what we can for her, and she's going to abide by that. There was some issues with the insurance. So there was a big deal about 8 months ago or something where we had to do a whole new look at the insurance, and if the whole building burnt down, how much does it cost to rebuild the thing? So working with the agent and blah, 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 it went up a little bit only because prices would cost a little bit more. Hopefully the whole thing doesn't go down right to the bones, but we never did receive a written, not a contract, policy. It would be basically exactly the same as our old one. However, we just have to pay. So we're still insured for $2 million. That's always the thing. Someone falls down and breaks a leg. We got $2 million.
Your liability is
Yeah.
$2,000.
2 million.
2 million.
Yeah.
And so they upgraded the replacement values?
Yeah.
Is that what they changed?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they should
Added
send
in the piano that wasn't there before. I put in a note saying, hey, we're going to do a renovation. Then we're looking at an organ, and maybe once that's all done, we could get an assessment of the property because the last one we did was, I'm gonna say 2010. Helga would have done that with, because the Mance was involved in that.
Hmm.
And it came in at $300,000.
Yeah.
If that thing fell down and had to be completely rebuilt.
Right.
So I kind of upped that a little bit. So anyhow, that's where the insurance stands. And then did everyone get that letter from Laura?
I did.
Okay, so she did a lot of stuff. I know she was the chair or the president or whatever, that Sleeping Children Around the World,
Mhm.
which was a really good charity in that they never collected a nickel. Everything was paid out by, if you wanted to take bedrolls to Peru, you paid to get to Peru. Donations paid for the bedrolls and stuff. So she's looking for, I guess, a place.
My
maybe a
understanding
place-
is it's like a one day event that
That's what it looked like to
they
me.
want to use Watt Hall. There
Yeah.
was, I didn't see a mention of dates.
No, I think they were just reaching out saying, is this something we could do?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think we should. I don't think we should charge them. I think this is a community type thing. You know, it's a one of,
Mhm.
but we'll have to work on the
Mhm.
logistics of when and at what stage we're at and, you know, all that kind of thing. And, but
Yeah.
we're certainly willing to work with them on that. So I don't know if you want me to call her.
I'll let you do it only
Okay.
because you'll know more of the coming
Okay.
and goings in there.
Yeah, I'll give her a call and discuss it. But as long as everyone else is in favor, I say we just let them have it for the day. And
I agree.
Yep.
Okay.
Now, speaking of the building, because we don't have a
Property chair.
property chair, what's going on with the roof?
Good question. I did not get back to Tom yet, but I can reach out to him, but we're probably going to have to get 3 different companies to come in and look at it and then give us quotes on, or at least tell us what's wrong with it
Mhm.
and what needs to be repaired to make it so that it doesn't keep leaking all the time. And then we can come back. There are issues with, I mean, there are issues with just the way it's set up right now, from what I understand. I wasn't up on the roof when they were, but it may require some serious work. The only reason I knew how fast this severance was going to be. I mean, there are other issues about that area other than just the roof, in my mind. That whole window structure, and when you look at it from the outside, is somewhat questionable. The colored
Is the
windows,
Gotham area, Harold?
that where the colored windows are,
Yeah, okay.
because that wood is constantly been drained and rained, and it hasn't been painted, and it does not look all that good. So I'm interested really in how structurally sound the wood is. And so if we were doing renovations at the time, that would be one of the things I would ask as an additional look at, is what would it take to, I won't say replace it, but maybe replace it, but again, we'd probably have to have a discussion about what it would look like, because people would probably still expect some kind of stained glass in there. But it's one of those areas.
Is this the Narthex area you're talking?
No, the main entry area,
Okay.
you know, where you go.
Where the greeters stand.
Yeah, where the greeter stand, the
Okay,
colored
yeah.
windows back there with those 2 windows that open and don't always get closed.
Okay, yeah.
Outside, when you look at it, the wood looks really bad.
Mhm.
So if you're going to, and I'm not sure what's going to be needed to do the roof, but I think if we find out what's needed for the roof, if it's significant, it might be worth doing more than that. because the roof is the issue, I think, with that whole window structure. It's just been poorly.
Yeah. I noticed the same sort of damage around those long, thin windows more down near, I don't even know what you call that. That storage space area past where the organ was, you walk in behind.
Oh, yeah, well,
They're-
now
that's-
those windows will all get replaced. They'll be ripped out and new windows put in.
Okay.
That whole
So they
area.
look like they're ready to just fall
Yeah,
down in the next.
yeah,
like,
those
they're
will
bad
be
shape.
those will be totally taken out because that whole area will be opened up, and those will be replaced with brand new frames, windows, everything. Yeah, because they too are in the same kind of
Yes.
condition.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
But I'll contact Tom and we'll see if we can get 3 reputable firms to come in and look at it and tell us what needs to be done. Because it is a constant issue.
mhm. And who, you say you and Tom without Tom being here to say, whoa, buddy, whoa. Would that be something like we can tell Jeannie to, what is our,
Well, you got to get up on the roof with those 3 contractors and look at it and talk to them.
okay,
So it's not really something Jeannie.
okay, fair enough.
No,
Well, again, if all goes well and I'm out of a job, I can help with that, but at present, I don't know. Okay. Anything else to add before we go to Darren? You're on, my friend.
All right, thanks. Sorry about dropping there. I never thought I'd say this, but sometimes I long for the days of Bell. But
We run Bell, and every now and then it just goes away for 12 hours. So
oh, really?
Yeah.
All right, I'll just share my screen here. Can you guys see that? Okay.
that's good.
Okay, so year to date so far, if you look at like line 10, we have a year to date deficit of 21,500 compared to our budgeted deficit of 42.9. So, we're basically, our deficit is half of what our budget expected, basically. And from a timing perspective, we always sort of budget the deficit to be higher in the front half of the year. Obviously, like back half of the year, that's where we get a significant portion of our income. And so, we're typically operating at a relatively high deficit in the first part of the year. And so, so that's kind of where we are on line 10. There's some timing things. I'd asked Ken to sort of coordinate with the trustees around sort of accelerating the income that we get from them, so the transfers. So, we had budgeted 5,000 to this point, and thank you, Kent, for bringing us 10. And so, that's making us look a bit better. So that's a timing thing. And something that we actually haven't incurred yet, but we will be paying for is work on to get the audit completed. So we're nearing completion there. I think I had sort of budgeted to have that spent in April, and it'll be more like June. So if you factor those things into the variance to our budget, instead of the $21,000, sort of favorability to our budget, it's more like $9,000. So it's definitely still ahead, just not as high as what I'm depicting in the profit and loss statement. Just some things I'd highlight. Offerings are actually trending pretty well. Like, we're a bit soft on the par side of things, but the offerings coming in through envelopes and transfers and so on, they're coming in pretty favorably. I think we're like $5,000 better than budget, so that's trending really well. Our other income is higher. Some of that's the trustee transfer that I mentioned. Something also we haven't done before is actually, we haven't recognized the interest that we earn on our GIC in the past. And so I wanted to do that because we just renewed our GIC. That's the $200,000 McKay endowment that we received. And so we renewed that. So we want to recognize the interest that we earned on that investment. And so, yeah, some good things happening on the income side. Just a reminder, our budget sort of assumed a June reopening. So up to this point that you're looking at right here, it's kind of apples to apples, right? So we didn't anticipate any reopening up until like through May, and so that's not reflected here. And so, so the results are coming in against budget based on the underlying assumption that we would be closed through May. So we might become more unfavorable starting in June just because we expected to receive some type of income starting in June with a slow ramp up. So, you know, for my next updates, I can sort of quantify what that impact is going to be going forward. And we'll just have to, you know, measure and track it until we're in a position to reopen. Any questions on where we are year to date?
When you use just a word you use, transfer. So you're talking about envelopes, which I can't believe people are sending envelopes. How are they sending envelopes? Just curious. And then what does transfer mean?
So we get, people are just sending offerings into the church. So they're not signed up through PAR. And so they're finding ways to, you know, send in offerings. I'm not sure how much, you know, Genie processes in terms of like actually getting like mail-in offerings, but I think that would account for probably most of it. Like we do get some sort of e-transfers, but I would suspect that most of the offerings that we get outside of PAR are people just like mailing in checks.
Coming in through the front door.
Yeah.
Yeah, they drop them
Or
off.
drop off.
All
Yeah.
right, I guess e-transfer. When I heard transfer, I'm like, who's transfer? What's that mean? E-transfer. Okay, that
Yeah.
word I understand.
And
Deborah, you had a
Darren,
question?
I didn't know. I just wanted to bring some good news too, that we finally got a refund from Air Canada. So we had purchased flights for the youth to go to Calgary last summer, and those flights were canceled. It was like $3,800. So we just got the refund. It came to like $3,700 of a refund that we got. So that'll reflect next month, I think. But we did get that refund, which was really nice to see.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
super good news. Yeah. Thanks for bringing that up. We ate that last year, right? So we just took it as an expense. And so we'll get a nice bump from that. So yeah, thanks for reminding me on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions on this? Okay, so just an update. I have two more or a few more slides actually. Sorry, I'm going to sort of talk for a little bit here, but there's just a lot going on and I want to give you guys an update. So this slide is just around stuff that's sort of just finished or is sort of pending, you know, close to being finished. So we did transfer, I think we talked about this at a meeting a couple months ago. Our operating, like our cash account was running lower than historically, obviously, just because we're in the middle of a pandemic and we have limited funds coming in. And so, you know, our operating cash position has been lower than it historically has been. And I just wanted to make sure that we were sort of still in a good position. So we transferred, you know, $40,000 from our GIC from the McKay Endowment to our operating fund, as well as, you know, we accelerated the trustees sort of transfers as well. So that's giving us a bit of a boost. So we're now, you know, in the $90,000 range in terms of our operating account. So, so it's just getting lower than what I would like. I think once we sort of get back to normal and open things up again and build our cash position back up, we can, you know, move that $40,000 back to the GIC and figure out what the right investment strategy is for that. So that's a temporary measure. We renewed the GIC for the McKay Endowment, consistent with last year's approach. So it's in a safe sort of GIC. There's no breakage fee, so we can, you know, withdraw funds like this $40,000 in case we need it for a rainy day, and there's no charge to that. So it's like earning like 1% a year. And then there's lots of stuff going on with the audit. So we had to, I don't know if you guys have been paying attention, but like our balance sheet has some assets on it that have old valuations. It was one of the first things I wanted to do when I started, and I just never got around to it. So for example, like the organ is still on there with a value of, I even forget what it is. It's like $9,000 or $10,000. And so that should have been written off a long time ago. We have land on the balance sheet for like $11,000. So that's not really representative of the true value of our balance sheet. So what I've done was I've sort of, to satisfy the audit requirements so that they can sign, the auditors can sign off on the audit, I had to develop a depreciation policy. And so I'm going to make some tweaks to that, and I think that'll satisfy that audit requirement. We're going to sort of book some adjustments into our balance sheet to sort of represent what the true value is for our land and buildings. So Kent, you were talking about like an appraisal earlier on the building and land. I had somebody come in last week actually and walk through sort of the church property and the building, and just to give me an idea so that I can use it for this, you know, for our accounting purposes. And he gave me some sort of valuation methods, and one of the methods he sort of provided was, if we were to, you know, if it burned down today, what could we sort of get out of it, like in terms of what's the value of the assets today, or if we were to resell it, you know, what would a developer pay for it, right? And so on that first method, I think he quoted me between like $8 million and $10 million of value. So there's just some options that I'm sort of weighing for the purposes of our accounting. And so I'll be incorporating that into our financials in the coming month. And there's some other sort of other pieces of information I need to provide to sort of close out this audit. So hopefully in the next week or so, we can put that to bed. Any questions on, I know I've talked a lot there, but does anybody have any questions? Okay. Future stuff. So I brought this up when I first started, and we'll spend a bit more time on this, is around, are we really optimizing our investment with the GIC? Definitely, you know, the GIC route is a safe route. Like there's like virtually zero risk, but we're also getting little in return. And so I'm just wondering, you know, and I'll walk you guys through sort of some trends around investments to maybe, you know, help provide some context in terms of how we want to go about this. But I think given where we are from an operating cash perspective, you know, we're facing some challenges with deficits even before the pandemic happened. So looking at our investments is just a way of trying to strengthen our cash position and our financial position. So just something to think about, which I'll get into more detail in a second. And then just some longer term stuff for you guys to think about. So, but that I want to raise. I spoke with the CIBC guys probably a couple months now, and about a number of things. And one of the things they mentioned was around our accounting, our account features. We have a pretty old account, and you know, there's some things that come with that, but I think we're missing out on some things. So I told the guy, I said, if we can sort of get to a place where we're paying like minimal fees every month, I don't mind paying fees as long as we're getting some value out of it. So it has to make sense. So I've asked him to sort of send me some options. He hasn't done that yet, but he's going to send me some options around like what type of accounts are out there. And I want to sort of optimize our accounts so that we're not paying too many fees, but we're also getting some value out of it. So look for that in the coming months. I'll sort of walk you guys through what our options are, and we can revisit that. Maybe we don't change anything. CIBC today is like, it's very challenging for us to process e-transfers. You know, we can't transfer out. We can't send e-transfers out to anyone. We can only accept them. And when we're accepting e-transfers from like the congregation or whatever, Somebody has to go in and approve it. And so it's a bit cumbersome, and sometimes they sort of sit there in sort of purgatory and don't get processed for a bit. So CIBC has enhanced their e-transfer capabilities, where on the receiving side, we won't necessarily have to go in and accept it. Like, we can set it up for automatic deposit, just like some of our personal accounts are set up that way today.
Yeah.
And so it's also going to be easier to sort of send out e-transfers as well. So from an administration standpoint, I think there's some good things that are happening, and it'll make Jeannie's and Grace's lives easier. So I'll give you updates on that too as they happen. And then the super long term is like when we do sell the Mance, something I was talking to the CIBC guys about, like, we'll have to sort of come up with some investment options. Like, what do we do with those funds? So some of it's being funded to, for the renovation. What do we do with the excess, right? Or what do we do with the funds while we're waiting for the renovation? So there's like a number of options that I'll be thinking about over the next little while. This is not going to happen for a while, but when it does, I'll walk the council through, what our options are, and we can sort of like, take the best course forward. So just lastly on this stock thing, don't go into any of the wording. It's there's a lot of words there, but basically, I'll just maybe talk about the graph. So if we invested, for example, like $50,000 of a GIC at 1% per year, and I went back to like 2017. So if we did that at 2017, you can see the yellow line, the orange line, right? There's this gradual increase, and over time we would earn like 5% over the course of the 5 years. So, pretty obvious, 1% a year over 5 years, that's 5% total. So if you look at the table above, on the very first line, at the end of the 5 years, we would earn a return on that $50,000 of $2,550. If we were to buy, if we would have bought TD stock at the same time in 2017, which is the green line, there's some volatility there with respect to COVID and what was happening. But as you can see, the TD stock and the Royal Bank stock has really picked up. And this is their Q1 that they just finished. They just finished Q2, but in Q1, which is the January 2021 date, like, it's really picking up because the banks aren't in a as bad a position as everyone expected going through COVID. And so there's some momentum there behind the bank stocks in general. So that very bottom line, the sort of gray line or the black line, is all the bank stocks together. So it incorporates CIBC and Scotia. So as you can see the Royal Bank stock trend, the TD1 and the bank index one, they're all sort of, the curves are very similar. And so I'm just bringing it up because we can definitely continue with the GIC approach. It's very safe and low risk. But I'm just wondering, if we maybe sort of take a chunk of our investments and sort of put it into a bank stock, which is pretty safe in and of itself, especially over the long term. Like, I don't think I joined TD back in 2001, and I don't think it actually has it's done nothing but increased over time. You've got some sort of big events that happen at the bank which impacts their stock price, but like over the long term, it's definitely like a profitable investment. And so if you compare at the very top in that table, I mentioned the 2,500 you get over 5 years from the GIC. Over that same time, you get a return of 16,000 for TD stock. So just some context in terms of like the differences between the two. Not sure we have to make a decision tonight, but just wanted to share that with the group because I think it'll help our financial position if we explore other options.
And, inflation rate, like, really, we're losing money, aren't we? I know
Yeah,
inflation's
like,
pretty
you're
low,
right.
but it's more than 1%, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Inflation, on average is about 1.5% per year, 2%. And so, yeah, our GIC is returning maybe half of inflation.
Darren, would you, I'm sure you don't have bags of extra time to spend on this, but one thing you might want to look at is the Oakville Community Foundation.
Okay.
We have at Acclaim, because we're nonprofit, we have a small investment with them. It's not huge, but the returns have been excellent. And there is certainly something to be said for the goodwill that comes along with being part of the Oakville Community Foundation. So it bears having a look at.
Interesting.
Yeah.
When you say like good returns, like, do you have an idea of what that might look like?
I'd
or-
have to go back and look because the numbers didn't stick, but certainly well above anything we're getting in the bank,
Yeah.
or anything we've had with the bank. And it's safe and it's consistent, and it just their audited statements and everything are on their website. It's easy. I think we've got, it's like, I think 100K that we invested with them a few years ago. Well, we have other things too, but we just thought it was it's not just for the return, that's part of it, and it's a good investment that way, but there's also something to be said for the goodwill that comes from being in the foundation with other groups. So
Yeah.
some benefit to that. So might be
Yeah,
worth
that's a good point.
having
Thanks
a look
for that.
at.
Yeah, I'll look into it for sure.
Okay.
There
And
any- Sorry,
I think it's great if you can bring our banking into the 21st century.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying.
Yeah.
I'm biased, obviously. I don't like CIBC at all, but I'll do what I can with that relationship.
It's a toughie.
Challenging.
It's a toughie. Yeah.
there's no restrictions put or suggested by the United Church on how you invest your funds?
There probably is, but I'm not familiar. We think we'd have to look at the manual.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'm not aware of any restrictions.
Yeah.
There probably are, but why don't I check into that too, Harold?
Yeah,
Good
I
point.
mean, because technically we come under the nonprofit thing
Yeah.
as well.
Probably
so-
shouldn't be investing in blood diamonds and stuff like that.
No. Well, ethically we wouldn't want to do that anyway, but yeah.
The oil sands.
Anyway, just thought I had as we were talking.
Okay, any more questions for Darren?
No, just thanks
Yeah.
for digging through all this stuff. It's
Yeah.
Oh,
not
That's a
the easiest
lot of-
stuff to keep pushing forward.
Yeah, no problem. I'll circle back with you guys maybe in the next meeting, and hopefully I can get an answer on the restrictions piece and that foundation, and maybe we can sort of get some really sort of recommendations. So
Harold, do you want to read out this letter?
So the background is that while I was trimming the grass and trimming some low bushes out of existence in some areas where they shouldn't be, I'm standing beside the man's property trimming a tree, and this van comes down the back drive and around the back and heads down towards the back. So I stopped to watch, and I thought, no, you're not going to do that. And she took her van and drove around the thing and over the grass and onto the road. So I haven't run that fast in a while, but I got to the end of the driveway of the man's just as she did. And I just yelled very loudly, just a big hey, so that she would turn around and at least look at me. And I said, we'd appreciate it if you didn't do that anymore. And she looked at me as if, well, doesn't everybody? Oh, okay. I'm going. So later I just drove down to Sabella until I found her car. So now I know what address she's at. And I mentioned this to Jeannie. She said, oh yeah, the red van? I said, yeah. She says, I ran down and tapped on it one day as she was actually driving over the chain and said, you know, you're not supposed to do that. So this isn't the first time for this lady. So what I did was I thought, okay, I know what the address is. I can leave it in her mailbox. So I wrote a little letter that says, neighbor, 146 Sabella. Dear neighbor, St. Paul's has always tried to be a good neighbor ever since we built at 454 Rebecca some 65 years ago. We endeavor to keep our property in good shape so as not to detract from the neighborhood and respect the needs of the surrounding homeowners. We understand that as a good neighbor, we should allow those that use the Canada Post mailbox next to our property to park on our laneway while picking up their mail. We are pleased that it has a use for those who have no affiliation with our congregation. We only ask that those using our driveway respect our property when doing so. This includes driving cars over the boulevard or our chain when on the ground at the south end of our parking lot. On 2 different occasions, you were asked not to drive over the boulevard or the chain, which closes off the bottom entrance. Please continue to use our driveway to pick up your mail, but please use the circular drive and return to Rebecca Street to return home in the future. We appreciate your cooperation in helping us maintain our property. So that was my nice neighborly letter asking her not to drive over our property. So,
Perfect.
and
She
then,
dropped her mail on the,
oh, she
the driveway.
picked up her mail and then drove down the back laneway. Instead of driving back onto Rebecca to go down Sabella, she drives over the lawn.
yeah, no, I'm saying like, when she picked up her mail, when I was walking the appraiser guy through the other day.
Oh, yeah.
She had
Yeah,
dropped
that
her
was,
mail
that
in the
was the
driveway.
day.
So I
That was the
actually,
day.
I walked over to her house and dropped her mail off for her.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was the day that was the day she did it. And then Sunday night when I was walking up, at the bottom of the drive, there was a home to house trailer, about a 18, maybe a 15, 16 footer, and a white SUV, big SUV parked beside it, right down at the bottom in the parking lot. So I drove down and I thought, oh, well, so I took a picture of it. And before I took the picture, I'm sitting there and a car comes down Sabella to where our gate is and has their left signal on to signify they were going to cut into our property, until they slowed down and noticed there was someone sitting in the property with their lights on the car. So then they turned the signal off and drove all the way around the bottom and then turned around and went back up Sabella. And I'm going, do all the neighbors treat our property like this? So I have this feeling that as a neighbor, we're being utilized as if we don't exist. So I just thought maybe this might be time for us to turn around and say, you know, really, this is private property. And I'm still trying to figure out, we had a lady connection that it's left in me. I'm going to phone her back, that might have saw who dumped all those cedar bushes on our property as well, twice, once after the sign went up. And if it isn't the builder, and I find out who it is, I'll write a similar kind of letter and circulate it for them. I mean, I just can't believe people think because this is church property, they can just do whatever they like on it, drive through it. So I just wanted to know if there was consensus for me to drop this off in her mailbox or not.
We do know who that is, Harold. I'll talk to you after.
Oh, sorry, the cedar bushes?
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, we have an informant.
Well, yeah, and I was trying to contact the informant, but she didn't get back to me. So,
Oh, okay, then you have that information.
yeah.
Okay.
And I left a message for her, but she hasn't called back, so I'll follow up with her again.
It's just the respect, that's right. And also if it's someone else's property, you don't walk on their property like that. So why would people?
Yeah,
I have a problem with, I mean, I think as a good neighbor, we allow them to park there to get their mail. That makes sense.
Yeah.
yeah,
I know.
I'm
and
gonna drive
that's
right along
nice.
to go out.
yeah, I don't think that's a problem. Even, you know, if somebody on that street has a party and a few cars park there, I don't have a problem with that either for a short period of time, but
Yeah.
using it as a thoroughfare,
Yeah.
It's
Even
not
if-
safe for one thing.
Yeah, if
And
you're
you-
gonna park your trailer there, it would be nice to phone the
Ah.
office and ask for permission. Not that we
Yeah.
say no, but
No, exactly, but let us know. Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah, and you're giving them really safe option, that's right, because otherwise they would have to walk from their house to have it safe if they cannot park on a street anywhere else
Yeah, that's
and
right.
get their mail. You
Yeah.
actually helping them out, so they would do it in a safe manner. You allowing them to drive there and park there.
Yeah. No, I think you were very restrained, Harold.
I was trying to be.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, nicely written though.
Okay.
You should put up prosecutor or pest tracers will be prosecuted sign.
Well, you
No,
know,
not
eventually you
shot.
start to realize why those signs get put up after a while, you know, it's just, yeah,
Beware of dog.
we're big dog.
Okay, well, thanks, Harold, for looking after that. Next meetings,
Oh, wait, Harold, did you want to look at that charter?
Yeah, there, so,
thank you, thanks, Deb.
Yeah, no,
Where-
I have found it so I can share it on the screen if you'd like.
oh, okay, all right.
Okay.
So this came up as out of Oakville Ready, which is associated with I think it's HEN. I can never remember what it's, Halton Environmental
Halton
Network.
Environmental Network, yep.
So because it's within all the Halton, they also have a this charter that Halton put together on equity and diversity. And one of the suggestions was that that the members of Oakville Ready, in particular, would consider signing this so that they also have a public display of their belief in the equity, diversity, and inclusion that needs to be practiced within Halton. So I thought, I read through it, and you can do it as an individual as well, which I'm thinking of doing. But I thought maybe it would be something that it's just one more public display of our stance on inclusion and acceptance of everybody and treating everybody with respect. So that was the question. As a council, would we feel comfortable having it endorsed by St. Paul's United Church?
Isn't that what we're about?
Well, that's what I thought.
Just,
Well, alongside here are the vision and commitments. So I don't know if we want to read them through and then decide whether this is what we want to do.
Yeah, I mean, so the commitments in encouraging safe and welcoming communities to reflect diversity of all residents. I think that's the affirm. Integrating a holistic approach to equity, diversity, inclusion for needs of residents to be reflected in policies. And again, I think that's something we're already striving to do as much as we can. Diverse representation in decision-making roles. As much as we can get diverse people into the congregation, we're trying to get them into the roles. So promote space where all people experience an equal sense of belonging. When I read this, you can find a lot of this in the affirm statement. So that's why I didn't think it was too difficult a stretch.
I think you're right, Harold, but beyond, just the 6 or 7 of us, I say, yes, we should, but I think that we need to, the congregation should see it and know about it and everything as well, because they may not be familiar with this initiative. And I think that it's one way of getting it out to more people.
Yeah.
Well,
I can write sort of something to go along with it, and I can circulate that to the council, and then we could have it go out in one of the newsletters or in something special to all the members.
yeah, I think we should. I mean, as I said, it's well and good that we all think it's a good idea, and I'm sure the congregation will too, but if they don't see it, they don't know about it.
Yeah,
I think the knowing is really important.
and we can word it in a way that says that, the council it has the intent of signing this on behalf of St. Paul's. And if you have any feedback, we'd like to, you'd like to share with us, please get back to us. And then give it a certain amount of time. And we can also encourage them to, as individuals, to go to the website
That's right.
and sign up as individuals.
Mhm.
And then after a certain length of time, if we haven't heard any negative, hopefully some positive, then we could put it in on behalf of the church as well.
Mhm.
So when we make these commitments, we're saying at St. Paul's, we're going to do this, or are we saying as members of Halton region, we want to push and make sure all other places are doing this? You know what I mean?
So
It's about us.
with Halton, what it is individuals or as corporations, you're going to do your best in what you can impact, which is generally your immediate surrounding area.
Okay.
It's not that you're going to go out and beat up other people to do it, or I think it's like individuals supporting it or organizations supporting it. And maybe I'll write up something which says, as an organization, we'd like to support this, but as individuals, you can also, and we'd encourage you to support this. And if you have any reasons why, or any feelings why we should not, let us know.
No, I don't even think you have to put it that way. Just say,
Just give them a warning.
believe me, if somebody has a reason why not, they'll let
Oh,
you
yeah.
know.
They'll let us know.
I don't think you have to ask for it. And not that I think anybody will, but I just think, like, I hadn't heard of that.
Yes.
Actually, I will take
yeah.
it to my leadership team at work, because this is something as an organization very involved in the Halton community that perhaps we should be doing too.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'll write something up and I'll send it out first, and then I think we circulate it to everybody. I think that's what they're hoping we'll do as well,
Mhm.
is use whatever networks we have to get it out. So.
So the next newsletter is July 2nd, I think, Harold. So
Oh,
maybe
it
get
won't happen before then.
well, yeah, maybe get it to her by the 30th, by the end of the
Yeah.
month.
Okay. That's only, man, that's not that far away.
I know.
Well,
It's-
and that's hoping Candy
it's
snaps
more-
back
it-
and gets
yeah,
back right into business.
It's more than a week, Harold. You got lots of time. You're retired. What's your problem?
I know.
Uh,
I had more free time when I worked.
Isn't that the truth, right? I remember Harold, when I left my job and stayed home with the 3 kids when they were young. I remember about 6 months in, Lauren said to me, "At least when you were at work, I knew where you were."
Yeah. Yeah.
What happens?
I don't think Kent's listening to that part.
Yes, I was. So looking at these next meetings, there was a whole thing when we all started this, and my work was blah, 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 blah. So I'm not doing the 12 hours shifts or goners. So there's no issue with Tuesdays and Wednesdays. If Tuesday, which was it? Which way do we always do it? Was it
Tuesday.
Tuesdays?
Tuesdays.
All right. Super cool. We can go on Tuesdays. No issue here from me.
Because we put down, my notes say the last time we said we'd do it on the 25th of August, but we could put it to the Tuesday, which is the 24th instead.
Well, the 25th of August is for the worship and pandemic team to get the worship and reopening team to get together.
Give me one
No,
second.
I've got council on here on the
Hey, bud.
25th of August.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Because we do have that on the 25th also.
Okay. Okay, now I also had something written down for the 11th, which is also a Wednesday. Maybe it was the 11th.
I have the 11th on my calendar.
Okay, so the 11th. So, but we could move that to the Tuesday, which is the 10th instead of the Wednesday.
I have a chairs meeting on the 11th, right?
And this is
Or
like.
council, one of those.
Council.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
what date? August 11?
yeah.
So do we want to leave it on the Wednesday, or do we want to put it back to the Tuesday? Just,
Either day works for me.
Me too.
well,
I mean, we can keep it to
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Let's keep
Tuesdays
it,
are better for me because I have other meetings on Wednesdays.
well, let's do it on the Tuesday because we, that's the normal,
Yeah.
whatever normal is. So let's, yeah, okay,
Okay.
so the 10th, yeah, we wanted to
right,
meet
we'll do that.
before the committee, that's right. So. Because hopefully we'll be planning a great comeback.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. I gotta pick my kid up in Ottawa tomorrow and he just told me we gotta do a stop in Kingston on the way home.
Oh, man.
Well, at least it's on the way.
Yeah,
Got to drop his girlfriend off?
no, he's gotta pick up some kind of a textbook that he's buying on Marketplace for half the price of the $300 a textbook costs. So he's
Goodness.
something,
crazy.
it's something like that, but we gotta get home for 5 o'clock because it's Elliot's high school graduation.
Oh, right, right.
So,
What a day.
yeah, I'm leaving it early.
Mhm.
No kidding.
Straight there, turn around, honk the
Oh,
horn.
boy.
Wow. We've done that.
Well, at least it's not Thunder Bay. It's only. it's
Yeah,
only
Thunder Bay is
Ottawa.
not doable in a
No.
day.
No, 15 hours, 15 hours. You could do it in a day, but
No,
you'd probably
Yeah.
be in an accident.
no, I wouldn't recommend it.
No.
Wouldn't recommend it.
Okay, so I apologize for missing that. So did we set the,
So that we had originally thought we would be on the 11th of August, but we can put it on the 10th, which is the Tuesday. Okay, if that's okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which
Okay.
works better for everybody. So,
yeah, as
Tuesday's a
far as
good
I
day.
know, it's fine.
Okay,
Audrey might tell me that that's when we were going to the cottage. If so, I got a computer up there. It won't be a problem.
Okay. All right. So the 10th.
Okay. So do we have a motion to adjourn?
Surely am.
Yeah, very quickly. Candy, if you
sorry,
can
I'm
note- If you can
tired.
note that, Candy. Christina, have you participated yet tonight?
Yes.
Okay. Who
A
hasn't
little bit.
seconded something?
So yes, I'm sec. Am
There
I
you go.
seconding it?
Christina
I'm
will
seconding
second,
it.
second the adjournment.
there you
All
go.
right, Deborah, ring us out here.
I'm just gonna go, set you off for the summer with Micah's blessing. Go with justice, go with mercy, and in God's humble care. Amen.
Amen.
okay.
Good night, everyone.
Good
Night,
Thanks for all
nice
your
to
great
you
work,
all.
people.
See y'all later.
Bye.
All right, ciao.